Hello and welcome to Railway 187. My dad is almost turning 90 now, and he started collecting model trains again in 2022. And he started with this Märklin starter set. It comes with a transformer, a small locomotive, which weighs only 20 gram, two wagons, which weigh 6 gram and 8 gram, and a bit of track. And you can make an oval track with this one. The gauge is 6.3 millimeter, and it is very small. It is not easy to assemble the track. You have to get the feel of it, of how to do it. But once it's assembled, it's amazingly very well fit together. The only thing is that the train is so light that if your track is not level fully, then it may start jumping around. So yeah, it's a bit of a question of finding a flat surface or fixing your track. First the locomotive needed running in, but after a while it became quite a good runner. You see the very first laps here which it was doing, and it was somehow hesitating sometimes, but after running in it was alright. Of course, the couplers of these little trains are enormous in comparison to the train itself. But once you get used to it, I think it's alright. However, with a lighter train, such as two very light wagons, coupling up is not easy. The train just pushes the wagons instead of coupling up. The white dots on the locomotive are not really lamps. This is, after all, a starter set locomotive, but at a certain distance it's still quite convincing. So this scale is a solution if you have very little space and still want a model railway. And if you choose German or American railways, then there's quite a little bit of choice. The level of detail is quite sufficient, I guess, at this scale. The couplers don't disturb. If you get used to them, the locomotive runs alright, and you can run a train on a very, very small space. Then my dad ordered some extra track and started his model railway. He used cork as underlay for the track. The locomotive seems to be doing alright on the points. And soon more rolling stock joined the fleet. Already two trains, one passenger and one freight, for one locomotive. Adding grass and some buildings and trees gave it already the outlook of a real model railway. And soon new locomotives joined the fleet. Well, new second-hand locomotives. Will they work? Yes, they will. They do. The layout was now 6 months old and that started to build new buildings. Gluing these kits together on that scale was quite a challenge, I guess. I also got him this BR-86 locomotive. He also bought a set of unpainted Preiser figurines and started painting them. If you want to have an idea of how small this scale is, then just take a look at the glasses here at the layout. When running slowly, these little trains look rather good, don't they? The BR-86 is sometimes a little bit reluctant to start. However, I think it looks very good at this layout, because there's quite a bit of space for it to stretch its legs. My dad has quite a bit of fun running trains on his layout, but the layout has been let down a little bit by the lack of a backdrop. So in March 2023, my dad built his backdrop. It clearly upgraded the way the layout looks. The backdrop clearly makes the layout look like a real landscape, so it's quite a big improvement. My dad has often running sessions on his layout. Dad also added more and more hand-painted figures to his layout. It's a mystery to me, really, how we could paint these tiny little figures. Here you can see the locomotive from the starter set. It really became a very good runner. The advantage of such a small scale is the storage. When not in use, it sits on a bookshelf, and then it can be set up on a different shelf here. And then it's a matter of setting up the backdrop. Taking the layout from the bookshelf and putting it on the other shelf. It only takes a few minutes to get the layout ready for a running session. Then my dad decided it was time to have 2 loops, and so he bought a new starter set.
It's the number 81874. It's with the BR24 German steam locomotive.
Let's see what's in the box of this starter set.
Right, so that's in the box. There's a regulator here with a adapter. There's the train, and here are some rails and a tool to put these tiny machines on the track, which is a necessity. Without the tool, it's very difficult.
So let's take a look up close to this very little train. I must say I keep being amazed about the level of detail they can get in this very, very small scale. It's really amazing. The track work is very good as well. As you can see, it's so small, but still it looks, well, fairly realistic. If you were to weather the sides, it would look perfect, I think. And I've put it on a piece of track here on my 00 scale model railway. You can see the difference in scale is massive.
So here is the whole set, and to give you an impression of how big it is, yeah, it is around 70, something like 73 centimeters long, and something like 41 centimeters wide. So we are fully zoomed in on the locomotive now. Let's see, let's give it a run. It has not been running, or at least not by me. So here it is, up close. As you can see, the lamps are lighting up quite clearly. It's daytime now. This is a nice speed for a passenger train, but let's see if it can go slower. So if you can see this, it's quite slow and getting smoother and smoother, so it wasn't running probably. And let's give you an impression with a comparison to an OO scale rolling stock. Yeah, this is a Hornby OO scale wagon, four-wheel wagon. So the comparison is interesting, I think. It runs quite well in the backwards direction. No locomotive likes propelling, but yeah, this one is okay with it.
And then my dad started to get this new oval track in the layout. And the new track was tested by the very first locomotive of his collection. He also added buttons to set station tracks with or without current. And then it was time to give this new locomotive, the BR-24, a run on the layout. And then Dad bought this little Märklin rail bus, an ideal thing because it can do local passenger services on the layout. And it brings tourists to the little station, or just a railway halt, next to the entrance of the mine. My dad has bought the motor unit of the rail bus, so without trailer, but of course it can pull any other wagon. We are now 2026 and my dad is still enjoying his railway. He's very close to 90 years old now, but that doesn't keep him from enjoying his miniature railway just as much as he enjoyed his HO Märklin model railway in the 80s. You can see a few pictures here, and as you can see the rail bus was there as well, but it had a trailer and was in a show scale. This layout has long been gone already, and so has the next one from the beginning of the 90s. Honestly, it surprised me he chose Z gauge this time. But it seems adults of any age can enjoy this type of model railway. My dad chose Märklin Z scale, which is very good if you're interested in German or American railways, but you can also choose Roco, which is Japanese railways. With my bad eyes and shaky hands, I will stick to OO scale, but as you can see, Z scale is fantastic too. And that concludes this video on the Z scale model railway of my dad. If you like it, please push the like button, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting railway videos. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye!